Hey, Mark, I don't know, did you get a chance to catch any of the Seahawks game against the Vikings?
I did. Yeah, I did get to watch some of that. And, and obviously great game, great back and forth. Unfortunately, late interceptions or one early and I think one late. But, I did get to watch some of that. And I tell you, it's amazing when you look at, the reclamation project that is Sam Darnold. And I think I've told you guys this before, going through with Kyle Shanahan and working, and choosing to go that route and kind of, basically telling other teams like, hey, man, I'm going to go this way and I'm not going to compete for a starting job. He was told, hey, Brock Purdy's our guy. And, he just went through it and wanted to learn how to play football at an NFL level and a true pure progression passing offense. And I tell you, it's just amazing, humble yourself and just go do the work and to see what he has done so far. Now, obviously, he's surrounded by unbelievable weapons with Jefferson and Addison and Hockenson and Adam Jones, but a really cool story for me to watch what he's been able to accomplish through 3 touchdowns last night against the Seahawks. So pretty cool story to be sure.
Yeah, it's so interesting at quarterback this year, and always, it's always a big topic with Geno. And, a lot of people, here in Seattle, of course, very passionate about it. Lots of emotions flying around, but just, what you see from Geno, I felt like, that sack that he took to get out of field goal range. I feel like it's definitely partly his fault. There's no question about it, but there was no hot route. There was nobody breaking off when they brought 6. And I feel like that was like I remember hearing that when my rookie year, like I think the first time I was like, what's a hot route? I didn't know what it was about, but I mean everybody knows that. So I don't know, what do you think with Geno? Is it more on him, some of the plays that you saw that were not good, or do you think it's the plays that are being called or those that are around him? Where are you with him?
Obviously they played a lot better up front, which they got embarrassed a week ago or so. So they did play better up front. But yeah, you talk about hot routes, you talk about the way the offense is structured, and we've talked about this before, Dave. But just because you coach in the NFL doesn't mean you're great at it, and there's always got to be answers. And I think the guys that you talk to play the quarterback position that want answers on every single play, demand answers on every single play. And, too often you get into, well, they're not going to do that. That they haven't shown that. And, we've broke down the last 4 games and they haven't shown that. So they're not going to do that. And then I was always one of those players who go, yeah, but what if they do it? Like, then what? Like, because I always used to tell my coaches, man, I want a rule. Because at the end of the day, man, I want to know what the rule is if we get this thing that we haven't gotten all year, but, I see the potential for it. What's the rule? What would you have me do? And I hated that. Well, they've never done that. No. That's not, and that to me is not only coaches to provide it, but you've got to have players that have an understanding of the system and can say, well, what if they do this? And the guys that, to me, play at the next level always want to have an answer, for what could happen, and want to have that either drilled or talked about at the very least in a meeting, so we know what that rule is and we can have an answer if somebody brings it.
So in looking at Geno, the debate becomes, all right, is he the guy moving forward? Is he not? He's got a cap hit next year of, I believe, $38.5 million. So he's under contract for 1 more year. And, we're looking at his stats for this year. If you're just looking from the outside, you're going, well, this is not a good year. He's got 17 touchdowns and 15 picks. It's tied for second in the league. But we can go through and explain away this one, explain away that one. He got hit here. This happened, that happened. Ultimately, that's a quarterback stat. So what do you say? It's the most he's thrown since a rookie. He threw 21 interceptions as a rookie. This is his second highest total right now at 15. And again, you can explain away a lot. He makes some brilliant passes. That's the hard part about it, Mark. You watch him in this game, And I mean, he just made some amazing throws, but then he's got those moments where you're going, what are you doing? What's going on here? So when you've got somebody like that, how do you move forward? What's the thought in terms of we're going to pay him, we're not going to pay him?
Right. Well, I would tell you that we've seen him be absolutely brilliant. Right. A couple of years ago, he was brilliant. An all-pro type of performance, and was brilliant in that offense. And so I would say this, like, one, what's the alternative? Who are you going to go get?
Yeah.
Are you going to go get somebody in the draft? Is there somebody in free agents? Is there another Sam Darnold out there? That's going to have this breakout year. But then again, it's got to be in the perfect scenario, in the perfect system. And then I would also tell you that, talking to offensive coaches, as you develop an offense, as you develop a plan, as you grow together, continuity becomes so important. And you don't know what you don't like in any given offense until you run it and you get your ass kicked doing it. And the same could probably be said on the defensive side of the ball. You don't know what the pitfalls of that potential play are until you run that potential play in every area of the football field, in the red zone, in crossing the 50, and all those different areas of the football field, the high red zone, on the goal line. You don't know it until you run it. And think about it. Like, okay, we can run a concept, right? We can run it in the red zone. And, okay, we can run it. We can be, excellent at it. And we could have gotten, some type of cover three, some type of deep thirds, right? And we ran against that. But all of a sudden, the next time you're in the red zone, you get some type of quarters, or you get some type of man-to-man, or you get so you've got to run it so many times in that situation. And, I had this conversation with Mike Shanahan. He said it really takes you about 3 years into a system before you've repped pretty much everything that's in that system in the areas of the football field that you're going to rep it, and to where you have mastery of that particular offense. And so now all of a sudden we're bringing in a collegiate coach, right, to coach a professional offense with an offensive line that you guys have talked about not playing very well over the course of the season on many different aspects. All these different things that kind of all pile up, and the easiest guy to see from a blame standpoint is the quarterback. So we point to that guy and go, well, he's not very good. And I would say, well, there's a lot of other factors that go into that, and he's proven in the right system with the right people around him that he can be exceptional. And I would lean more toward that than going out there and getting, having some guy that you think is going to, all of a sudden have that, Sam Darnold type ascension. I just don't think that that's really realistic.